Hey everyone, it's Jason and welcome to another Firefly the board game 10th anniversary unboxing. As we've been going through all the different expansions, we are coming to the final one. This is going to be the 10th anniversary collector's edition. So it's got a little 10 with the little Firefly symbol in there. So these are ones that are, as far as I know, are only going to be exclusive to the 10th anniversary box. It's very possible they may release some of these as an extra expansion later on. By themselves, but I have, again, no guarantee if or when that'll ever happen. But they're going to add some really cool stuff to the game. The only downside is if they don't, I don't know if it's worth, I wouldn't say if you own all the other stuff, I don't think it's worth rebuying the entire, getting rid of all your old stuff to rebuy it just for these extra couple of cards. But there are some really cool stuff in there. It's definitely why we want to go over it, so we can see what's in there and you can make that decision. So a couple of things that are coming here are listed. First of all, we're going to get a copy of all the previously released promo cards. Some were from other games, some were from conventions, stuff like that. So you're going to get all these promo cards you might not have been able to have before. We are going to get some, I'm going to skip over this quick. We're going to get some new ship upgrades. So we're going to have some optional ship upgrades for the first 4 Fireflies, as well as the 2 from Pirate and Bounty Hunter set. It's just kind of cool because it gives them, like, the other ships that came out in later expansions had, or some of the expansion ships had, like, extra, like Esmeralda and Jetwash had extra upgrade cards they can start with. So this is kind of giving these guys a way to kind of fall in with them. They're optional. You don't have to pay extra for them, which is nice. Which is cool. We're also going to get an extra new thing here. So every single die in this set, you get 1 for each color ship, has the 1 is now replaced with a disgruntled symbol. So typically, in the old sets, if you just a 1 on there, the only picture on there is a Firefly, which is for your big damn heroes roll and stuff. This gets you an option which gives you a couple of different things to do. 1, you can just count it as a 1 and treat it as nothing else different. Great. Now you know the bad one means you got a 1, which is a bad sad roll. Or you can have 3 other options. During setup, you have to decide which one to use, and you gotta stick with it. So you can get Disgruntled Crew. Proceed or not, some twisters may want your crew unhappy. Pick any one crew with a skill point, their own or a gear matching a skill test, and disgruntle them. If the crew would jump ship, they do so after the skill test has been resolved. So that's just potentially a 1 makes someone disgruntled. Automatic failure. This is the harshest option you recommend only for veteran players. Aces and crew and gear allow rerolls become incredibly valued. So 1 is automatic failure, where 6 gets you an extra reroll, 1 makes you automatically fail the mission. So that could be really bad if you have to roll like 3 or 4 dice for whatever reason. I don't think you ever roll more than 1 die, but and then success at a cost. Accept a failure, or you could pay the price to continue normally. Depends on a skill test. For fight tests, you must kill a crew. For tests, you must spend a part. Or for negotiation, you must disgruntle a crew. So again, a little bit harsh to be able to do those, but it at least gives you an option to keep going instead of getting a 1, which is pretty much a failure. So that's pretty cool that we're getting some different stuff there. The other new thing we're going to get is flying solo rules. So there's a bunch of solo rules for the game. We're going to come back and look at this at the end, because that's the only other like big new thing. We're going to go ahead and look at some new some new setup and story cards first. So here we have Home Sweet Haven. Now again, being part of the 10th anniversary, they're going to assume, obviously, that because you bought this in a 10th anniversary pack, that you have every single expansion. Again, if they ever re-release this outside of it, it's going to probably assume you own every expansion, because they might reference stuff that might be in Breaking Atmo or something from Pirates and Hunters. I'm sorry, Pirates and Bounty Hunters, which had the Havens introduced in them. So yeah, you need that set for that. So yeah, choose a story card, shuffle the Alliance and Reaver cards. Regardless of player count, choose leaders and havens. So just gonna pick your havens out, and then local heroes at the bottom. At your haven, you may use a buy action to take a shortwave for free, remove all disgruntled and wanted tokens. You may proceed with misbehaving at the same system is your haven to take 100. So this is kind of neat. We had another expansion when I introduced haven. I think maybe it was just maybe it's Blue Sun or Teldesia. One of the two had. One with havens that lets you do the shore leave and just disgruntled tokens for free. I don't think it added the wanted as well. But also it didn't have the misbehaving thing. I like this as just even a general idea for the game. Might even be great to use like for beginners. Even if you add another story on top or another game setup on top of this, because then what it does is it gives every player a place they can go back to. I can go out of my way to travel to a specific area to like remove stuff or do that. I think the other one they'll let you buy fuel instead of this one lets you do misbehaving. You could kind of even combine them. It's sort of like this is your home base. It gives you the option to like I can go out of my way to spend actions to go back to this extra area where I'm not trying to do jobs or stuff, but I can like heal myself up like essentially in the game sense. Another thing is a really neat option. Again, it might be good, maybe be a kind of nice thing for newer players. Like, hey, we have this spot we can stop where I can remove my stuff, shore leave. I can make some little extra money if I want, or I can load up parts or fuel. Like, it lets you do that kind of stuff. And then, like, as you get more and more into the game and people understand the rules, you take that option away. And now they don't have that backup. It should be kind of a neat idea. This one here does require the Still Flying expansion. So if you don't have, again, if they ever release this separately and you don't have this, you won't be able to use this. Because it uses the shuttle cards that are in that expansion. So number 5, this is choose shuttles. Pull all shuttles from supply decks. Start with the player who won the role for choosing ships and leaders. Each player may take 1 shuttle for free. Selection passes to the left. Once all players have the opportunity to select their shuttle, place all remaining shuttles in their discard piles. Starting job, each player receives a job card from Amundel, Lord Hollow, and Magistrate Higgins, and a caper. Players may discard their starting jobs. So it kind of gets you set up to do that caper thing. And I think, again, this is one thing I love about the way this game could potentially work, is that you could combine even the 2 of these together, right? Here's a haven. Everyone starts with a shuttle, so it gives you a little extra way to start the game up. Might make the game just decrease game time, so it might make the game a little bit easier. Again, you can opt to have the capers and all that stuff in there if you want. That, I guess, would be up to you. Cool. I like the idea of this stuff. Alright, then we're going to look at some stories. So we have Aces Up Your Sleeves. Create a stack of alliance alert tokens equal to 4 times the number of players. So 4 player would be 16 tokens. Ooh, so you have a time clock. We've had one of these before. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Each time a player completes an illegal job, discard an alliance alert token. When the last alliance alert token is discarded, the game ends immediately. Always prepared. When you proceed past a misbehaved card with an ace, you may collect it. Remove the card from play and put it with your completed jobs. Better lucky than good. Whenever you proceed past a misbehaved card with a skill test resulting in a thrilling heroics, you may collect it. Put it with your completed jobs. And always on the hunt. You can never collect the alliance operative misbehaved cards. They're always out there. Win of the game. When the game ends, the player with the highest number of collected misbehaves wins. In the event of the tie, the player with the highest number of solid rep wins. Oh, that's kind of neat. So, you want to do illegal jobs because you're going to have to do misbehaved cards, but then you're trying to either win by using the ace rule or by having throwing heroics to add some more of them. So it might take a bunch of them to keep trying to get them. But then, yeah, the game can end earlier. So if you're like way ahead, you could try and force that deck to empty quicker, or you could maybe be like, I have 6 of these, and everyone else has 2, or whatever. You could just, obviously it's not the right number. You'd have to have more than that. But if you have over half, you could obviously, if I have like 9 or something, no one else can catch me. You could just mess around or whatever if you wanted to. Interesting. It's a different way to play it. Cool. We have this one, which does require the Blue Sun expansion, Dead Man's Hand. Aces over 8. In this game, players collect misbehaved cards can put together a dead man's hand. 3 cards of one suit, 2 cards of another suit, or 4 cards of the same suit. Ah, interesting. When you complete a work action that includes misbehave, you claim only 1 misbehave card. You proceed past. Remove the card from play and put with your completed jobs. Any player of the dead man's hand may take a goal. And look good will do. Whenever you proceed past a misbehave card like an ace or a skill test results in thrilling heroics, take 500 and remove this Skrunkle from a crew. Allies on the hunt, alliance stay out there. Winning the game must be solved with each 3 contacts. First player who travels to Deadwood with a gold token pays the bank 9,000 wins the game. Buy a round for the house and trade tales about your legendary escapades. That's kind of neat. I always love this with the misbehave to have the card suits on there, and I love the fact that you have like a mission like this or a story like this is going to use those as a way to play the game. That's cool. Let's be bad guys. The setup. Players may not deal with Niska until they are solid with at least one other contact. Job for Niska are not dealt during setup. Special rules. Once a player solves any other contact, they may deal with Niska as normal. Each time a player competes in a legal or more job, they earn 1 gold token. If the job was both, they earn 2. Each time a player botches a job or receives a warrant, they lose a goal. First player to have solid Niska have 7 tokens wins the game. Optional, go up to 9 tokens. That's kind of cool too. Neat way to play it. It's a mad verse. Players begin Persephone. In this game, players gain clues to the treasure's location by collecting salvage op and misbehave cards. When you resolve salvage op during a fly action, you may remove the card from play and put with your completed jobs. When you complete a work action that includes misbehaves, you may claim 1 misbehave. You proceed to pass, remove the card with your completed jobs. Honest thievery, when you win a showdown against a rival, you may steal 1 misbehave or 1 salvage. Interesting. Winning the game requires 1 salvage and 4 misbehaves. Win the game, pair your misbehave clues with the new misbehaves. Win the game, pair your misbehave clues with the new misbehaves. Then take a work action to misbehave once per solid contact. Max support. If you pass and misbehave, and the suit matches one of your unpaired clues, take to make a pair. Am I missing the part? You have 4 match pairs. You follow the clues to the big W and find the hidden treasure. Pair your misbehaved clues with new misbehaves. Okay. So you have to collect 4 misbehaves, and then you have to try and pair them with the new misbehaves you're doing. Take a work action and misbehave once per solid contact, go up to 4. So the more guys I have with, the more I can do it without having to take multiple actions. So if I've solved up to 4 people, I can just do all 4 at once. If you proceed past the misbehave and the suit matches one of your unpaired clues, make it a pair. Okay, cool. So you have to do some extra pairing with this stuff as well. That's kind of neat. Awesome. A friend in every port. So you use Blue Sun and Caldesia. Start with the last player to choose a leader. Each player chooses 1 job from 3 different contacts. Mystery Universe cannot be chosen. Reveal the top 6 cards of each supply deck. Reveal their place revealed cards in their discard piles. Can't stop the signal. For the purpose of winning the game only, Mystery Universe can only be used in wild card substitute. It can be used as a wild card substitute as a solid for a contact from one of the systems below. Your ship must be in the system at the time. What? You didn't see it coming. Whenever you complete a caper, you may cause the player of your choice to lose solid with 1 contact in the system you're in. Win the game. First player to be solid with at least 1 contact from each of the 5 systems at the start of their turn wins. White Sun for Harkinger Badger, Red Sun, Almond or Magistrate Higgins, Georgia, Niska or Patience, Blue Sun, Lord Hell or Caldesia, Fanky, and Mango. And then, Mystery Universe can be, take place of one of those. That's kind of cool. We had one before where we had to just be the 5. This gives us the option of the of doing 5 of them still, but you have the option between 3 or 4 other options too. That's cool. kind of expanded for that one. Red Skies over Ransom. In this game, players collect Reaver-related nav cards. After you resolve Reaver Bait, Reaver Booby Trap, Reaver Dead Ahead, Reaver in Orbit, and Reaver on the Hunt, remove cards from play and play with your completed jobs. Treat New Can Blue Sun as if there is a Reaver Cutter there at all times. With a stack of Reaver Alert tokens, there is a reminder. These tokens are never cleared. Unfront, collect 4 Reaver related nav cards, immediately complete goal, and shuffle the collected nav cards into their deck. Must be solved for contact, load 2 contraband, and then Reavers. Then you have to go to New Cat and Reaver sighting. Oh boy. Interesting. So that's kind of cool. You actually have to force yourself to deal with the Reavers and running around in rim space. That's kind of fun. Then we have running on empty. Players not receive free starting fuel or parts. Each player begins with an additional 1,200. Fuel costs 300 unless purchased from Harkin. All transport jobs have 500 bonus. Whisper for a price must be sold at Fancy and Mango. Mother's Touch must be sold at Higgins. And Busted Chops at Balix. Interesting. Cool. So you have to, you don't start with fuel, so you have to go buy a bunch of extra. Yeah, so fuel normally costs 100, so now it costs 300, so it costs a lot more to do. That's interesting, so this is going to make it fuel dependent. That's kind of neat. And then the last one I have is the wobbly-headed gull caper, so if you remember that. Remember, how much did we make off the wobbly-head gull caper? No starting job or deal. Each player begins with 1 caper. Place a passenger token on each supply planet. Use your wiles. You must have completed 1 caper. Deal action to load the passenger, then roll a dice. Choose a contact based on your roll. So you just pick one of them. Interesting. Where the workers. This is solid chosen contact. Must have 5,700 in hand. Misbehave and deliver 1 passenger to load up 6 contraband, and people love those. Interesting. So you're treating the passenger as one of the wobbly head gulls. That's kind of cool. And then you have to deliver them to a certain place. That's kind of neat. Different other little fun things. So then the last thing we have for the big cards, so we have the Flying Solo. We're going to look at those at the end. We're going to look at the rest of the cards in the set, and then we'll hop back into those. I'm going to lower my camera down a little bit. We're going to look at some brand new leader cards. So more leaders are always fun. We have Bolas as a pilot. The pair you have. If you proceed past 2 misbehaved cards in the same suit and the roll will work in the job, take 500, and he has explosives. So cool, it's referencing, again, we're playing a lot more with the suits in here. We have the Counselor. Pull some strings at the start of your turn. You may take 1 gear from any discard pile. Return it at the end of your turn. Ooh, neat. Fancy Duds and Transport. We have Hamor, who's a collector. When you complete a caper, take 500. You may ignore the effects of tweak 1 besides reshuffling the caper deck. So this is kind of neat. Something like this, they're again relying on you having all the expansions. Some of these guys work better for other things. Some guys are going to only work better if you're playing with the newer stuff. We have Pegaline, who's a grifter. Mama Bear. Grifters in your crew do not become disgruntled if they're not paid card of their successful jobs. 2 extra fighting when defending in a showdown. And then finally we have Captain Jane, the hero of Canton. Mothers on your crew do not become disgruntled if they are not paid, may carry 2 gear. This is cool, because if you play this still, you have to remove the other Jane out of the deck. But this is neat, because now with that and with the Jet Wash expansion, you could technically have 1 person is Mal, 1 person is Jane, 1 person is Zoe, each running their own different ships. So that's kind of neat that you can do that. Alright, then let's look at our upgrades. So for Serenity, we're going to get the Skyhook. Requires a pilot to use but counts as a transport. After completing a crime job, load 1 contraband. So you can add this right off the bat, which is really fun. It gives you an extra little starting bonus. I love that as an idea. And then that way, and then you can also replace it later if you don't want it. If you want to do the Bonanza, though, you can get an exterior cargo pods. You can give you 2 extra hold areas. This is also fun because, like I've said in the previous videos, talking about like all the different new ships. It's neat because like all the Fireflies are the exact same. The base ones. Artful Dodger's slightly different, but he does come with some extra bonuses. Esmeralda and Jet Wash have extra things they just start. They cost a little bit more, but they have a little bit different stuff. But yeah, the base Fireflies are all the same. So everyone's starting off the same except for their leaders. This lets everyone start off, again, a little bit different. So yeah, we can have extra cargo holds. For the Bonnie May, you get 2 extra caravan pods, only for fugitives and passengers. So that's kind of fun. Or if you pick the Yu Kui, the fully equipped med bay may reroll med checks. So depending on what you want off the beginning, you can pick the ship that maybe fits more your thing. Then they have for the Bounty Hunter, Pirates and Bounty Hunters, we have for the SS Walden, you have the Engineer's Bay, mainly holds specific goods. So you can put fuel or parts in there, +1 to max ship crew. So this is kind of cool because I just happen to have this sitting here. The SS Walden does not normally have a stash. So if it ever gets raided and stuff, it's going to lose, it can potentially lose all that. Especially when you're playing a game of set where you have lots of stuff where players are trying to board your ship and steal stuff they can't take from your stash. This always lets you put your extra stuff in there just to hold on to it. What's also neat about these is they double-sided these ones. They didn't double-side the other ones. But also I could switch over to the Ava suit. +1 for boarding, +1 cargo from salvage, and 1 crew aboard the ship may ignore Alliance wanted crew rolls. So it's kind of if you want to go the other direction, you're not worried about people stealing your stuff, but you want to do more of the bounty huntering part, and you're trying to get on other people's stuff, you could opt to go that direction. Same thing with the Interceptor. We can get the Brig, mainly passengers, fugitives, in your stash, and bound fugitives cannot be killed by Reavers. Does not reduce core drive. So yeah, I just happen to have that one here because the Interceptor only normally has 4 spots. So having 2 more specifically, if it's only just for passengers or fugitives, is really helpful. But also because of the whole bounty thing, that works well with that set, trying to not have to worry about Reavers killing your guys. Or we can flip it over and we can do tight quarters instead. Push to the ship's max crew. These crew must be mercs or soldiers and does not reduce your drive core. So it takes up one of your 2 slots, but having extra two guys could be helpful, but that could be very specific people. But this, again, could change up how you want to play the game. And I love it, the fact that there's ones that kind of work for these 2. Like if you're playing the Bounty Hunters expansion, they make those 2 aimed a little bit more towards that. But if you want to just play the regular version, you can definitely do that, and you have some options there. So I love these, just extra upgrades for the ships. I always think about this like whenever I play like a deck building game. Most deck building games, everyone starts off the exact same deck of cards. I always like to go through and I loved that Legendary Predator and Aliens gave you like specific characters, and they each started with their own different cards, so everyone had at least one unique card in the deck. I play like the Marvel Legendary. I always add an extra card into everybody's deck. Sometimes it's the same card to everybody's deck, but it's a different card. It's not a basic card. Sometimes it's fun to add different cards because it also leans to like, oh, I can go this way, I can do this. Gives everyone like their own unique card to start with. I like this as an idea, and instead of having to now pull them out of one of the decks right off the bat, like some of the story cards might say, or setup cards or story cards might be like, buy an upgrade right away. This just gives you an option to have a free one, so that's kind of cool. Alright, then we have some new supplies for Beaumont. So we're going to start with that. We have Tabak, who has standards, who has +1 negotiation. We have no mutters or hill folk in your crew, so fancy Dutch. You shouldn't like the poor people. We have Gabriel Tam, Simon's father. Simon and River's father. Alliance connections. When you complete a legal job, take 300. Will not work illegal jobs. And we can also get Regan Tam. That's the same thing. So they'll help you out if you're doing those. We get an RST set. Negotiation, and discard to reroll a negotiation test. And we have a ship upgrade, the red button. If you must discard a shuttle, you may discard the ship upgrade instead. The return button, I believe. So that's pretty cool. Then we're going to have for Meridian, we are going to get Banging, who has the Queen Bee, +2 negotiation when attacking in Showdown and Fancy Duds. We also get Belinda, Broker. Whenever you sell cargo to a contact, you may sell it as either cargo or contraband. Neat. We get Jane's Rainstick. Discard a count as an ace for an interesting day, Dot Sky Standard, Grumpy Malcontent, or local bootlegging outfit. Proceed. Interesting, because it's very specific ones. It's kind of odd if you'd want to keep this or not. That's still kind of neat. Inara's Knife, maybe using kosherized fight does not count towards gear limit. Counts as a knife, discard to add one fight to a fighting skill test after rolling. So we have all this Inara stuff. We have Malcolm stuff, Jane stuff, Malcolm stuff. We have one Kaylee thing. She has a parasol. We have a couple of things for Simon. I don't think we have any items specific for Book or River. Might have one item for River. I think we only have the one for Kaylee. That's why I would kind of like to have more like items specific to some of the characters. Oh, I just said we didn't have anything for River, and immediately we have River Cam's combat boots. So we do get at least that. When carried by River, you may pick the results of the gifted roll. So that's kind of cool. Awesome. So there's our new contact decks. So I don't know if I showed off in this. I showed off in the other video. So let me jump into this quick. So yeah, like the 10th anniversary, we get two for stuff for Buma and Merrigan, and then Fanti and Mingo. So one for Calgessia and one for Blue Sun. If you have the Still Flying expansion, you get Harlow and Higgins, which are the other two from those sets, as well as you're getting cards for the other 5 areas, for the other 5 decks. So they do have cards for all the different decks. Kind of like, it's sort of odd because they're both, like, they both come in this 10th anniversary only as of right now. But they're kind of almost like counterparts to each other. Like they're adding more stuff to complete, and add stuff up. So it's almost like you kind of want to get both. But that's alright. Alright, we're going to look at Fanti and Mango's stuff to begin with. Their outside thing always stays the same. Leading double lives. So unfortunately we don't get piracy cards for any of the expansion stuff. That would have been kind of cool, because the pirate set added piracy cards for the main 5. We don't get any for any of the 4 expansion. I would have liked to have some piracy cards for them as well. Leading double lives, because they're 2 type thing. And down here it's going to show on the symbol that you need Calgessia and Blue Sun to be able to use this. If you're not playing with both of them, you won't be able to use this particular card. 2 hearts can get the job done. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, since it just uses Calgessia. 2 ships passing in the night. And 2 wrongs don't make a right. These guys also have the bonus drop-off, which is introduced in one of the other expansions. So it says, yeah, if you're with another rival ship at your area, in that area you can do this bonus drop-off. If they agree, you can deliver 2 fugitives to each gain that bonus. So some are delivered 4 contraband. Now it can be, so again, if you look at this one, right, so it's load 4 contraband, you have to deliver 4. So if you run over, you find this rival ship and you deliver 4 contraband, Both ships get 3,000, which is maybe better than getting the 2,000. But then you fail the rest of this mission unless they have 4 contraband, they're willing to help, or get 4 extra, or whatever. So kind of, this gives you less fugitives. You get some different options there. It's just kind of neat. Then we have Mr. Universe, who has our big damn challenges. So you have Bring It On, Bring It On. So these are going to be added to your other jobs. It's going to again mention, I think they all say Blue Sun on them because he is part of Blue Sun. Otherwise, it wouldn't matter. Because you have to have him to be able to even access these. But yeah, then you can add these to any mission or caper to make them a little bit harder. But you get a good bonus for them. Just gonna embarrass yourself. Need to get our bearings. Painful on many levels. And pretty lights. Alright, so that's... we got a couple more cards. We have... The last one we have are the bounty cards, which are from the Bounty Hunter sect. So they're adding more cards for the wanted characters that were not available at the time. So these are for like the barkeepers or from Teldesia. So if you add the expansions, this will let you have more cards to be able to use those guys. We have Holder. And we have the Middleman from Blue Sun. Then it's also going to add 2 extra cool ones. We're going to have the Deceptive Crew. So this is if you have the Still Flying expansion. So Saffron, Blondie, Bridget, Elizabeth, Princess, and Yolanda. See if you have any of her, it'll work for that. But since you only have one in play, it doesn't matter which one. And then the last one is the Big Damn Heroes. So this is one of the promo sets that came out. There's a couple of cards you could have picked up at one point called the Big Damn Heroes, which adds some extra new versions of each of the characters. Jane, Kaylee, Wash, and Zoe. As well as a leader card for Malcolm, but you can't obviously pick up leaders. But it's kind of neat, so it's going to let you pick up these guys. It's whether the regular versions or the promo Big Damn Hero versions. So as long as it's kind of neat because it makes them all wanted as well, but it does all of them for one. So that's kind of neat. Doesn't actually say where they actually came from because they could be from any different deck. So that's kind of cool. Here we get all those guys as being potentially wanted. Awesome. So then we're going to look at, that was the last of the 10th anniversary stuff other than the solo stuff. So we looked at some promo cards that also came in this box. They're also all included here. So one is the Big Damn Hero set, which I just mentioned, which gives alternate versions for all your characters. So they're all going to have the same exact skills as the regular ones. Same price, same everything else, but they have this extra Big Damn Heroes effect. So you can basically just swap them all out and use these newer versions if you like. It says, when you proceed while misbehaving, take 100. So every time you do more misbehaving jobs, you get extra money for them. And then it still has, like, Mal still has Brown Coat for his leader. Jane still has his public relations, but he gets that Big Damn Heroes. Kaylee has natural know-how for rerolling. Wash has Hard Burn. And Zoe has Dust Devil. So he just adds that extra little bonus thing. You can basically upgrade all your characters. To give them the extra little effect, which is kind of cool. It does have an extra little expansion symbol on the side there, which is kind of neat. I think it's a promo symbol. Alright, then the next set are just a bunch of random promos from different things. I don't know where they all came from off the top of my head. Some were probably just like promos from a convention. Some might have been from other little things. I do know where some of these came from, but I don't know where all of them came from. So you have Mal's, so it's just from Silverhold, so you just again mix them into your decks. Mal's Pretty Floral Bonnet. Crew carrying bonnet ignores wanted crews, does not count towards gear limit. Wash's Lucky Dinosaurs. When flying, reroll any test result of 1, does not count towards gear limit, which is always nice. And then they had the Fruity Odie Bar, discard before rolling to add +1 to any result, and discard to remove a disgruntled from the owner. So the only downside to these 3 cards is that up until this point, every deck always had the same number of cards. Before the Still Flying expansion, I think that one. No, I shouldn't have thrown it off because any card replace it. Yeah, so up to this point, every deck always had the same number. This will put these 3 will have extra, so it's kind of nice if they made one for Regina and Osiris Works, Shipworks, just so you had every deck was back to the even. I mean, one card's not that big of a deal, but it can be kind of, if you're a stickler for that. Then the next thing we have came with Firefly Adventures game. So if you pick that up, you'd have a copy of these. These are all loot crates. I think originally it was part of a loot crate expansion, which is like a mystery box thing. I think they put it in that game later on when loot crate stopped existing. This is a neat way to get. So for Silverhold, you have loot crate for Osiris. Remove from play, you just draw a card from the Osiris supply deck. If there's a gear card, keep it. If not, discard it and draw another card. Repeat until a gear card is drawn. So what this is letting you do is pick up from one area a way to get a gear card from another area without having to fly away over there. So it's kind of a neat little thing. So we have same exact effect for all. We have from Regina, you can get something from the Space Bazaar. You go to Osiris, you can pick up something from Regina. From Persephone, you can get from Silverhold. And from the Space Bazaar, you can get from Persephone. So this is kind of a neat extra little bonus. And there's, like, a lot of cards are doubled. So I say if you had the original ones, you could always add them in there. Just have another set of these in there. That'd be kind of cool as well. Alright, then the last set of promo cards I'm going to just fly through really quick are just part of the 10th anniversary. They released foil versions of every single leader card. They did for the Big Damn Heroes first. So you've already seen these. These are exactly the same cards as we've seen, just saw. There is Mal's, there's Mal's original version versus his new version. A little bit different artwork on those. But they just made a foil card for every leader. So if you want to have your leader card out, they can be kind of shiny. So we love shiny in this game. So we have Burgess, Corbin, Marco, Monty, Yangi, and Womack from the base set. From Blue Sun, we have Anthron and Murphy. From Caldesia, we have Wright. From Pirates, we have Jewel Herbley and Sash. From Jetwash, we have Zoe. From the 10th anniversary set, which we saw earlier, we have Bolus, Counselor, Hammer, Captain Jane, and Pedaline. So just foil versions of all the leaders. So if you want shiny, that's really up to you if you like to use them. I guess they're one card that stays out. It's always out. So it'd be kind of fun to maybe have them out. Cool. That's what we have for that. So the last thing we want to go over in this is the Flying Solo expansion. So if you want to play this game by yourself, now is an option to do it. Other people came up with rules before, I'm sure, but we're going to have some more specifics. I kind of just wanted to go through and look at the rules before we get into if I need to look at the book now, I probably won't dump into it too much. So pair the solo game setup with another setup card. That set may change the order indicated below. Story cards take precedence over story cards. So you're going to take these rules, pair them with one of the other green cards yet. But yeah, special is choose your first choose your story card, choose your nav decks, place a reshuffle in there. Alliance and readerships, choose ships and leaders and starships all stay the same unless obviously the other card changes it. Number 6 is we have no sure thing in life. Remove 5 cards from play from each supply and contact deck. These cards are kept face down, cannot be accessed in any way during the game. So, yeah, that's kind of just an interesting thing there. Priming the pump, we have prime the pump normally, then spend up to 1,000 to buy up to 4 supply cards that were revealed. Discount from these special abilities. Apply, replace purchased cards. And then discount from special abilities apply, and then play. Okay, and then game link code. Set aside 20 disgruntled tokens using the game link. Unpredictable timer. To increase the difficulty, you may mix the number of mixing numbered tokens. See flying solo rules for detail. Cool. So there's that. That's standard. I'm gonna flip to the other side. We also have game turn. So how this is gonna work? So 0 before turn effects. Resolve effects that occur before the start of your turn. Optional, she's in trouble. Requires deceptive crew on your ship and in a discard pile. Roll 1 if one disgruntle your deceptive crew. Note, if deceptive crew is part of your crew and you hire another, you may remove one from play. Recipe for unpleasantries. Requires a disgruntled crew. Roll a die. If you roll equal to or lower than the number of disgruntled crew, add a disgruntled token to the crew of your choice. Crew who jump ship are fired as a result are removed from play. So don't go back to the deck, they're just gone. Note, if you want to increase the difficulty, select crew or already have disgruntled first when adding disgruntled tokens. And those are optional effects. Take your turn, take 2 actions you have already liked. You may not take the same action twice. Send a wave. You may reveal 3 cards from the contact deck if you didn't take a deal action during your turn, or a supply deck if you didn't take a buy action and place them in the discard. You may not reveal cards in your current location. So what this is doing, this is letting you so the option of sending a wave is you're playing multiplayer. Some other player might access the deck, might go through it, check the cards, put more cards in the discard. So you might get more cards in the discard pile before you access it to look through it. This is letting you have a chance to basically treat it as you're doing that for some of them. Well, I don't like what's in the discard, but I don't want to have to go just search the deck and put cards in there, then have to, you have to take extra actions for all that. Timer. Return the game like token to the bank when all 20 have left. You may take 1 final turn. After turn effects, resolve any after turn effects. So that's pretty much that. So before we go into too much more, because we have some play cards, I want to jump into the rules in the book a little bit. But we want to look over that card first, because that should explain a lot of this. I thought I'm going to go through everything. So, solifying rules, optional rules make solo play automatic movements. We have some of that. So basic rules. Once play begins, take 2 actions only also send waves to reveal additional cards. Represent reaching out to allies for advice or doing research, see what diverse has to offer. Starting resources. She kind of went over that different stuff. 20 length. After you complete a starter's objective, you win. Otherwise, the verse has gotten the better of you. When you're new to the game, 20 turns may not feel like enough. Give yourself a few extra tokens. You might make your way through the verse. We talked about sending a wave. You may not reveal cards at your current location, though. So we have some I knocked all my cards over. We have some optional rules in here you can also use. Unpredictable timer. Replace the bottom game lake token with the number of destination tokens 1 through 4 from the pirate bounty hunters. Stack them so you reveal 1, then 2. One of the bottom is the last token. Anyways, use a disgruntled token. Whenever you discard a number of game lake tokens, roll a die. If you roll equal to or lower than the number, discard all remaining game tokens. You may take 1 final turn. For more unpredictable game, use more numbers, destination tokens, or put them in a random order. Whenever you discard a number token, roll a die. If you roll equal to or lower than the number, discard all remaining game length tokens. So like that, when you reveal the first one, nothing happens. You get a 1, chances you're going to roll a 1 are pretty slim. You roll a 2, buried, but as you get higher and higher, that's kind of cool. So you don't know when the game is going to end. No sure thing. To remove the top 5 cards. So the point of that, I believe, is so that way you can't ever know what's actually in the deck. So you can't, okay, I know that Wash is in this deck, Osiris ship works ever, so I'm gonna go look for Wash because he might not be in there anymore. And how long do you sit there and try and go through the entire deck, right? Or you're looking for a specific job. This one job is really good. That's kind of just a way of like removing some stuff from the game, so you have hidden information, so you don't ever know exactly what's in the game. The reason I don't think they said just put it back in the box, they might be worried you might accidentally look at them. There's some other stuff about that. We kind of looked over that. Jumping crew. Whatever was in the other things. So additional rules. There's automated movement. Reaver cutters and alliance ships represent obstacles who move controlled by other players. During solo, automated movement keep you on your tail. Whenever you draw a nav card that moves one of these ships in a certain number of sectors, they head straight for you. If a nav card moves them to the adjacent sector, they appear in a sector to your left. If they can move to any sector, they move to the sector where you started your turn. To increase the challenge, if you take a fly action and no Reaver or cutter ships move all of them one sector closer. If that makes the black a little too crowded, move only one in the same system. So yeah, they're just kind of keeping you on your toes there. There are campaign rules. During the campaign, you can play through a series of story cards using the same leader and ship. Begin with your first story card. If you win, continue to the next story. The campaign assumes time passes between each, so some of your crew may drift away and a lot of your pocket money will find its way to your pockets. Play as many story cards you like with 3 to 5 as recommended. Interesting. During play, gear and crew that are killed or seized by aliens are moved from for the rest of the campaign. Jobs can only be completed once during a campaign. Keep all completed jobs until the end of the game. If you lose solid with a contact, all their completed jobs are removed from play. When each game ends, keep your ship, starting cards, leader, drive core, starting ship upgrades. You still have supply cards and completed jobs. Keep 100 for every 1,000 you end the game with. Return the rest to the bank. Keep 1 warrant. Discard any additional warrants, as well as wanted, goods, passengers, and fugitives. Turn all incomplete jobs, whether active or in your hand, to the contact deck. Set aside anything else kept at the beginning of the next game. The next game does have supplies. You still get starting supply money as usual, in addition to any money saved from the last game. Rather than purchasing supplies, after priming the pump, you may instead spend 1,000 plus money kept from the previous game to repurchase supply cards you set aside at the end of the last game. Unpurchased supplies go to their discard. Interesting. So you keep all your supply cards, but then you have to spend $1,000 plus the money. So you may spend, rather than purchasing supplies, you may potentially keep your regulars. Oh, that's cool. So you might have to start completely over. Job cards. For each contact you were solid with, remove 2 of your completed jobs from play. If you have any jobs left, you keep them. You begin solid with those contacts. That's kind of cool as well. Timer, when you set aside the game, move 2 story cards. Move 2 for each story card already completed. Time has a way of catching up with you. Cool, so you start with 20, then the next time it would be she'll be 20 and then it'd be 18, so it does drop down so as you get through them. But it's kind of a neat idea of like, as you've been playing through the game, like, yeah, some of your crew and stuff might have left, some of your gear or something might have broken down, so you might have lost it unless you can afford to pay and keep all them on in between games. Cool. So there's some solo story cards we have, standard story cards, advanced rules. Long story cards are not super fun, solo based on their mechanics. So there's specific ones, but then there's some that you can also use standard story cards as well if you want to try some of those. That's pretty fun. A few cards from our additional, like Desperados or Respectable Persons. Declare last call before discarding the last token. Other standard cards can be used with blind solo just as easily as solo for endless opportunity. So they have one specific for solo, but you can use lots of the other ones. Each solo card has an optional advanced rule on the reverse side to keep travels mixed. Cool, so we'll look at that in a minute. Alright, so let's hop in and look at all those. Alright. I'll reset everything back up here. Let me drop my camera down a little bit. So we have a Fistful of Scoundrels, which requires Blue Sun and Caldesia. Set up starting jobs. Jobs are set. Each time you gain solid the contact, recover 2 games. Scoring. When you're out of game length tokens, count up your total number of solid reps. Big Damn Hero, 9 solid reps. Mark of the Great Captain, 8. Guess I'm a Good Captain, 6. And, well, I'm alright, you have 4. Further adventures. To increase the challenge, don't prime the context. Work only illegal jobs. Recover 1 game length token each time you become solid. And complete a caper before gaining any solid reps. Okay, after each time you gain a solid contact, recover 2 game length tokens. So cool. So you have every time you can become solid, you can keep your rep going. 9 solid reps. That'd be 1 with every single person. That's kind of cool. We flip this over. We have alternate alliance contacts. So when you resolve the alliance contact, first roll a dice. Depending on which die you get, you do different stuff. I'm not going to read through all of these. I'll hold this up here for a sec if you want to pause it and read through them all. We have call for backup, extensive questioning, toss this junker, no registration markings, let's moon them, and standard alliance contact. So this is going to make the contact a little bit more challenging. Also suitable for standard play. That's neat. They got these solo things where you can add these in there if you want your alliance contact cards to work differently. So with the what was this expansion? This is the I forgot the name of this one already. Crime and Punishment expansion. Start 1 Ryan's alert. So yeah, here you're trying to gain your total credits. How much you have to do. Just the other one had to do with contacts. This one has to do with credits. I'm just gonna kind of skip around through some of these. Flip this one over though. We're going to get option for the Corvette contact. So the Alliance Corvette. So where are you hiding? Worst thing you know, can't make me angry, alert every ship, and decoys pulse beacon. So that's pretty fun that they have different ones for each different character to play as. Once Upon a Time in the Black. So we have scoring the game. When you're out of tokens, count up your total number of misbehaved cards. This is when you're trying to collect misbehaved cards. Whenever you complete a job with misbehaved, collect those misbehaved cards. Cool. Once per turn, you may spend 6,000 to recover a game token. And then on the bottom, you can have stuff. Attach a Mr. Universe card to every job. Don't use aces. No capers allowed. Don't work immoral jobs. That's kind of cool. It's like, here's how you play the game. Here's what you have to do, right? Then here's actually another challenge to make that a little bit harder if that became too easy for you. On the opposite side, we have alternate Reaver contacts. So you want to play your Reavers a little bit different. We have Reaver Ripper, Reaver Hunter, Reaver Horde, Unexpected Rescue, and Standard Contact. Lonely Smuggler's Blues. Place contraband on each supply plant. Place a gold token on certain decks. Do not start jobs. Begin Lingonium. Collect 4 gold tokens. Cool. So when a sector containing contraband, you maybe use a work action to try and claim somebody misbehaving. For each misbehavior card, please take 1 contraband. Stop misbehaving when no contraband left. So each supply planet has 3. When you sell these 3 contraband to a contract in a single deal, take a gold token from their contact deck and recover 2 game lane tokens. Oh, neat. So you have to go to a planet, do misbehaving actions. So this kind of focuses on doing misbehaving versus you necessarily having to do jobs. Are you gonna want to do jobs? Yes, because you're gonna need money to buy parts and get higher crew and stuff like that. Because misbehaving itself won't do it, but kind of gives you a different object. Neat. On the opposite side, we have lone targets. So for you to do showdowns from the pirate and bounty hunters, you have local trouble, gone to ground, hired protection, well prepared, bound for the black. So So it says it's good for bounty hunting. If you're doing that, it's going to work better for that. If you're not doing bounty hunter, it's probably not going to help you. Going Reaver. Place Reaver alert tokens in every sector of Motherlode, Red Sun, and Uroboros Belt in the Blue Sun. May not reroll tests. So you have some different goals to do. Gather Reavers, be solid Mr. Universe. I am not a monster. Solid Niska and Fanky and Mango, and then do a couple of misbehavings at the end. So it kind of plays more like a standard regular one. That's cool. We have a wolf at your door for more bounty hunting. This just changes up a bunch of stuff. When you begin your turn with at least one bound fugitive on your ship, roll a die. If you roll equal to or lower than the number of bounty fugitives, Cortex Alliance count as 1. A bounty hunter comes calling. Select a random ship model and leader, place a ship in your sector, and defend the showdown. Interesting. So you have an extra character that'll come out and try and attack you. That's kind of cool. We have Siege of Rebellion. New resistance mission. You may not deal or be solid with Harkin. Place 7. Harkin 7 immoral transport jobs and separate discard to the new resistance missions. Complete 4 new resistance missions to win the game and help wake up the citizens of the verse. Cool. So you have specific ones you have to try and do. Again, you're not competing against other people, so that's kind of neat. For piracy, we have Lost Little Lambs. When you accept the piracy you got from a contact, you also get intel about a viable target. Again, select another random ship model, so another player that might be interacting with you. Interesting. Not going to read through all that right now, but there we go. Racing a pale horse. So yeah, we got to do some racing horses here, do some different jobs. Okay, I want to read again. You can pause these and read these if you'd like. Automated movement. So we already talked about the automated movement before. This is kind of nice. This is going to give you a card to have out just for it. Also works for standard play if you'd rather use that rule. But when the Reavers move, how the Alliance Cruiser moves, how Operator moves, and how alert tokens move. That's kind of neat. Just an extra bonus there. We have the Raggedy Edge. Do not use a timer for this game. Start with 1 random Alliance alert card in play. Begin with 1 gold token. Every time you complete a legal job, take a gold token. Place a disgruntled token on a gold token each time you lose solid, gain a warrant, botch a job, kill a crew, evade, have a crew seized, or stopped by the Alliance. Some events may... Okay, each gold token will have 1 disgruntled. If you don't have a gold token on disgruntled, the game ends immediately. Place disgruntled tokens. If you don't have a gold token to disgruntle, the game ends. Whenever you mosey or make work, the disgruntled crew is not already disgruntled. Whenever you mosey or make work, disgruntled crew is not safe. You do not disgruntle a token instead. Okay. Oh, every time, there, that's what I missed. Every time you complete an illegal job, take a gold token. So as you complete more and more illegal jobs, you're going to gain more and more gold tokens, which increases your timer. Every time one of these bad things happens, you put a disgruntled token on. Then eventually you'll have too many disgruntled versus not enough golds. You can survive long enough to acquire 36,012 gold tokens, you retire as a legend. That's cool. Definitely a different way to play the game as well. I wonder how well that would work for solid, like, right, if you, or multiplayer, like, right, you keep all of them out, and, like, every time everyone completes a goal, they get a gold token. If they do one of the things, they get disgruntled. If they don't get one, you could be like, well, you're eliminated from the game, right? And then maybe, unless somebody can, like, come over and, like, do something to rescue you or something. So you don't really like games with player elimination. It could be 2 to 3 hour long games, but that'd be an interesting thing. Contact quirks deal. When you deal with a contact, first roll a dice. So on a 1 or a 6, you're going to get different options. That's kind of cool. It's only for the 4 of them. Interesting. For Almondal, Harkin, Harrow, and Magistrate. That's kind of neat, though. Like, at least it gives you an option, like, hey, instead of just going, you might get something better. You might get something really good in it. You might get something bad. Kind of cool. And then our last story card here is Heroes and Misfits. Starting resources begin at Persephone with Malcolm and Serenity. And the expanded crew cores Zoe Walsh, Jane, Kaylee, Simon, River, Cam, Inara, and Shepherd Book, and 2000. So we have the entire Firefly Serenity crew. Alliance start with Land, Alliance shuffle. Draw a story card from the adventure deck. When you complete the game, take it. When you complete it, take 3,000, draw a new story card. Then take a 20 game tokens -5 for each story card complete. When you're out of the game, tokens count your adventures. Interesting. So every time you complete one, you take 20 game tokens -5 for each story. So yeah, so you start with 5 less every time. So if you complete 4 or more, you'll get different stuff. Why should Malaball pick the leadership and supply plan of your choice? Big game of 20,000, a full complement of your favorite crew from the game or from the show or game. That's kind of cool. So you can play an optional way with anybody having a full crew. That's kind of neat. It also be even neat to do this with maybe this with a full crew of everybody, like multiplayer. I don't know how well it would work. Maybe interesting to try. Right, each player starts with a full ship with everybody, and as you complete these stories, you start the new game. Okay, we gotta complete. Everyone keeps all their stuff or whatever, starts a new story up right away. You just keep playing through each story as quickly as you kind of can. But then eventually you're gonna run out of things and you see who can complete the most. That'd be kind of a neat thing to do. Interesting. Then on the other side, we have contact quirks for work. When you work a job, roll the dice. So these guys get working them, so they get the other 4 guys. Badger, Fanky, Mango, Niska, and Patience. So the 4 of them were for dealing with them. When you deal with them, these are when you specifically work their jobs. You get a plus, possibly a good or bad, except for Patience, which doesn't ever have a good one. So that's kind of cool. And then I love these backsides because you could combine a lot of these with other stuff. You could combine these quirks all together for all 8 guys. The only one that's not on there is Mr. Universe. You could combine in all the alternate things for everybody, and how they're going to react every time you resolve a card. If you're bounty hunting, you can include them. Piracy, you can include those guys. Automated movement. So that's really cool. Plus the fact you can play all the solo rules. You can play a bunch of the other missions in solo as well. Alright, so that's what we have for the Firefly 10th anniversary. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching all these videos, seeing all the different cards, listening to me ramble about a bunch of stuff. The only video I have left to do is when I get all my sleeves, I'm going to sleeve, and my tokens, I'm going to sleeve all my cards, build all the tokens. We're going to do one last video showing off what the box will look like when everything is completely full. We did our very first video, we went over the overview of the box, but I want to do it again with all the upgraded components and all that stuff. So when I get all that stuff, I get all my cards, it's going to take a while. There's a lot of cards in this set. We will definitely do that video. Hope to see you guys there. Hit me up in the comments. Bye.